Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby. And let's just say the boys are back in town.
She got away, know what I say? She can't joke, she don't know what to do.
She's gotta go. Bye. I know that you love this flow. We just chillin', we just villains. We just chillin', we some villains.
I leveled up, get the ammo and I stick it up. I grab shots on the top of shots. I bust the clip and I let it dip. I make it poop, make it explode. Touch your toes, hit your nose. Can you touch your toes?
We are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Report. I am your host, Brian Barnaby, and I am joined by our super producer, Main Magic Mike. What's going on, bro?
Hello, world. How are we today? I mean, dude, it's the dynamic duo, and we're adding Rodman.
And speaking of Rodman, Gino joins us via FaceTime. What's up, Gino?
Hey, what's up? Not too bad today. It's a good day. It's a beautiful day outside. It's a beautiful day to talk about sports.
Yeah, and we'll start in the world of the National Basketball Association.
The ball. LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
So we had two games last night, and actually both of them were a 20-point deficit or higher. So, weren't too close, but we'll just kind of go over them. And I figure we'll start your guys' favorite team, the Milwaukee Bucks, with a 132-98 victory over the Heat. And Giannis, 31 points, 13 boards, 6 assists. Middleton had 17. Holiday had 11 points, 15 assists, 7 boards. And Bryn Forbes, the former Spur, 6 for 9, 22 points in 20 minutes. And they were 22 of 53 as a team from three-point range. So it was just bombs away, especially early in the first quarter. This one was never close. They outscored the Heat in every quarter. Jimmy didn't step up, only 10 points in 32 minutes. I mean, obviously towards the end, he wasn't playing because the game wasn't close. So I'll start with you, Gino. What were your thoughts, on this game and this blowout win for the Bucks?
I mean, 46 points in the first quarter. That is something. I mean, they were literally on fire. They could not miss. I mean,
every player
literally could miss. Literally could not miss. They were 10 of their first 14 from three, which I think was like 70% from three or something like that. They finished the game 12 of 39, so it came back down to earth a little bit. That's just like above 30%. But still, I mean, by the time that they were, shooting all these threes late in the game, I mean, it didn't matter. This game was over in the first quarter. I mean, Jimmy was shut down. I mean, the Heat really had no answer. I mean, at the same time, Bryn Forbes and Pat Connaughton were knocking down threes in the first quarter, so I'm sure the Heat didn't have a game plan for that.
Yeah, no, tough to game plan on that. What were your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, it was over in the first quarter. I know how happy you are. I get it.
Oh, my God.
But you know what? I said it. First of all, I want to say the group text last night was jumping. That was a beautiful group text last night. But I don't know. I just know any playoffs in sports, the series doesn't start till you win an away game. So it's cute. They did what they had to do.
Right.
They won the first two at home. I guarantee you it's going to be a totally different vibe in South Beach. And Forbes and those boys, maybe they go out one night in Miami and they're a little sluggish the next game. Could happen. Miami's got the juju down there to get you going out.
The thing is, I feel like we've seen with the Heat all season. I mean, they definitely can play good defense, but I just don't know if they could keep up with the Bucks scoring.
They just miss shots.
But they've missed shots all season.
Yeah, but you never know. The shooters can come on at any moment, and that team's got a bunch.
I just feel like all season it's been like, here Miami, here they go, here they come, and it's just like there's no consistency, no great stretches. I mean, that's just what I've seen. I've always respected Miami, and I think the thought is, based on what they did last year, great run. They're not going to just fall flat on their face in this series, but at the same time, they've had the same system for a long time, and we've seen years when it was just D Wade and some other guys where they just lose in the first round 4-1. So for that to happen here, I really wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is just trying to compare the two games. I mean, obviously, the thing that jumps out to you is obviously Connaughton and Forbes having 37 combined points there. A lot of them coming in the first two quarters. Again, you hope Jimmy's not going to be as bad as he was yesterday, but they seem to have him pretty locked up. Bam was better yesterday than he was, but again, it's hard to put much weight into some of these stats because again, this game was over in the first quarter, so a lot of these are garbage time things. The big number that stands out is the rebounds total. The Bucks out rebounded the Heat by a 25 rebounds. Offense had 12 more offensive rebounds. And then the other thing is Drew Holiday was really, really good, specifically at facilitating, had 15 assists. So, I mean, this Bucks team with, I think Drew Holiday is a key part of this Bucks team. And I think the only way that Miami is going to be able to pull out or come back in this series, they're going to need Jimmy to be Jimmy. And I feel like that's something we haven't been able to count on all season.
Yeah, he's been very inconsistent. I mean, I think another thing, too, you look at all the time when a team loses a playoff game, usually you look at the three-point shooting, and it's terrible. 8 for 28 from three-point range. So I think for Miami to have a shot, particularly in Game 3, they got to really be hitting those threes because 8-28, that's
exactly.
You lose a game by 30.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So I just don't see Miami not hitting more shots in Miami, especially next game.
Well, I mean, you also have Hero and Robinson combined had it's Hero. I thought it was Hero.
Yes. Hero.
No,
Hero. Not Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, this isn't Montrezl Harrell over here.
Hero and Robinson combined had 14 points, and those are two big 3-point shooters. Right. So you expect them to heat up a little bit.
Some would say comparable to Stephen Clay.
I mean,
just joking.
I mean, you could compare last night's Bryn Forbes and Pat Connaughton performance to Stephen Clay, but
true,
I don't know.
Actually, very true.
I mean, those guys were on fire, but yeah, I just is it going to be enough? I don't know. I mean, it was enough in Game 1 when those two were hot, or at least Robinson was hot. So we'll see. We'll see how things go when they get back to Miami.
And is it? I mean, I know it's early. It'll be Game 3 Wednesday, 7:30 on TNT. But I mean, do you feel like Miami is still in this series, or are you kind of expecting the Bucks to pull away?
I think you never know. I mean, there is some weight to what Mike has to say, which is very unusual. In the fact that a series doesn't start until the team wins a road game, because in all reality, a home court advantage, especially as we get more and more fans back, as we've seen in certain instances, that's going to play a role. But they're going to need Jimmy to be Jimmy, and he's going to need to be an assassin, and he hasn't been that. So unless that can happen, I would say probably 5-6 games and the Bucks win this, but we'll see on what, Wednesday when they play.
Wednesday.
Why are they playing so often? I gotta wait days for the Knicks.
I don't understand that, because the NBA loves one thing the NBA loves to do is just stretch out the playoffs. Like it's like
last year was great. They had no excuse with the travel days, so it was every other day.
Yep.
Exactly.
Let's get it rolling.
Yeah,
and what are we doing
the
here?
The Knicks aren't even traveling. The Knicks are.
I know.
They start games at 10:30 Eastern time.
Oh, we'll talk about that when we get there. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Well, that's the other thing I don't. Okay, we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there. It's on the list. It's on the list.
Also, just to close this out, what
take
you said
a sip of water, bud.
The series doesn't start till the road team wins the game, but it's just like in this situation, when that team is up 2-0, once they win this, then the series is over. So, I mean, I think that's what we're going to see happen here. I just think it's just one of those times. I mean, we see it with.
I just don't trust Giannis.
It's hard to be great every year, and I just think this isn't Miami's year.
So here's the thing with Giannis, and I know I've been with Mike. I also don't trust Giannis, but I trust Giannis to get out of this round. It's a matter of going deep in the playoffs, which we haven't seen.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm like. I'm not worried about Giannis getting out of round one. I'm worried about Giannis playing the Nets the next round and having to beat them, or get to the Eastern Conference Finals, or get to the NBA Finals. Like if he can, even if he can beat the Nets, I think that there's significant more weight into what Giannis can. I mean, I guess, the role players need to show up too, but I mean, I think there's significant more weight if he can beat the Nets to what he's done in his career.
I think 5 games at best, most likely a sweep. But hey, we'll see what happens. And I'm really looking forward to this Nets versus Bucks series. That's going to be a good one. But for now, we'll move on to the other game from last night. We did have the Nuggets defeat the Blazers 128-109, and the Joker 38 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 for 4 from 3, and 15 of 20 from the floor. I mean, that's efficiency at its best. Porter Jr. added 18, and even Millsap had 15.7 boards. And just overall as a team, I mean, they shot 53% from the field as a team, and Dame having 42 points and 10 assists, that didn't matter. They still won by 19 points. So I just kind of look at this as, can the Blazers, I know they won game 1, but can they play enough defense to win this series or take it to 6 or 7 games?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the numbers for, again, comparing game 1 and game 2. Obviously, the shooting was significantly better for the Nuggets. They shot just 30% from 3 in game 1. They shot 42% from 3 in this game. And then the other number that jumps out is them getting to the line. They were 4 of 8 from the free throw line in game 1. This game, they got to the line 30 times and made 24 of those free throws. I mean, that's 20 extra points right there that you're getting basically free points. So that's a huge number for them that they're going to have to look at. Also, the points in the paint was even more of a discrepancy than it was in game 1. So, I mean, listen, the Blazers are going to have to stop Jokic if they want any shot in this series. So far, they haven't proven they've been able to do that. And I think them stopping just the 3-point shot and stopping everybody else in game 1 was the key, but they're going to need they're going to, Jokic can't keep getting 30-plus points a game and them expect to win the series, I don't think.
Well, I mean, he's going to keep doing that. Am I right or wrong?
But exactly. So it's going to be hard for the Blazers to win the series if, like, Dame doesn't put up 40 every game, which he has been doing, and they still didn't win last night.
Also, Mike Malone put Aaron Gordon on Dame all night. I noticed.
Oh, yeah. So a little bit longer of a defender, you're saying?
Yeah, and
I mean, it didn't matter. Dame had 42 points. I'm not saying Dame was the problem in this game. I just think.
But just specifically for you, Mike, here. So just 2 questions. So
number
1, playoff Melo with the 5 points, 1 of 5 from the floor. What was your thoughts there? And then number 2, what's your confidence level as far as the Blazers being able to pull out the series?
I mean, I don't get too high and I don't get too low. Okay, I know what they're gonna do back in Portland. They did what they had to do. They took 1 game. That's all they had to do. The series there is in their favor right now. Dame Lillard, CJ, and playoff Melo will be back. Game 3. Watch out, Denver.
I mean, I guess we'll see. And I wanted to actually bring up a text I got from Chokery, my future brother-in-law, who is a loyal watcher of the show. He said last night to me, "Tell Mike the Blazers will get killed by the Lakers if they make it. They have 0 chance." So I just thought I would just add that. And of course, I agree.
You know what? Well, hopefully the Lakers even make it out this first round. So, I mean, we'll see about that.
Well, we'll get to that. And also, he did say that he thinks the Bucks will beat the Nets if they play too. So it just seems like our thoughts are aligned. So I just thought I would bring that up. So anyway, so back to this. So we will have Game 3 in Portland Thursday, 10:30 on TNT. So hey, if we want to get a couple hours of sleep for Friday, we'll watch that whole game, and I'm sure it'll be fun. So on to the games tonight. So we do have the first game, 7:30 on TNT. We have the Celtics at Nets, and the first game, Nets won by 9. So obviously the Celtics, are looking to steal game 2 before they head back to Boston. And just looking at this, I mean, honestly, I was impressed that the Celtics were even able to keep it within 9. Looking at the mismatch here, and I think one thing, if the Nets want to win this game handily, is they're going to have to improve on the 3-point shooting. Game 1, 8 of 34 from 3, so just no one had it going. And so I think as far as the Celtics are concerned, I think you want to force them into these 3-point shots, and then just take easy buckets where you can get them. And for the Celtics to win this game, I think Tatum needs to drop 50 points again. Otherwise, I think it's going to be tough for them. But hey, I really would like to see them pull it.
Yeah, I mean, remember when we were talking about in the beginning of the season how the Nets didn't play defense? Now they're giving up just 93 points to the Celtics. So I mean, obviously they're turning it up a little bit in the playoffs here. Getting in line a little bit or a lot in that game. Like you said, 3-point shooting was a problem in game 1. So the Nets will obviously hope to do that a little bit better. But, I mean, still, Durant had 32, Kyrie had 29, Harden had 20, almost had a triple-double with 21, 9, and 8. So, I mean, it's you got to have 3 guys who can defend those guys, and the Celtics barely have 1. So that's really the issue. Bless you, Mike. Are you okay over there?
Thank you, yes.
No, but that's really the issue. And Tatum just getting 22, it's not going to be enough. So, we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, the Nets don't really have too many role players, so it is on the shoulders of those 3 guys. So it seems like it's an uphill task for the Celtics in this one.
What are your thoughts, Mike? I mean, you think this is going to be a little different game 2, versus not being as close, or what do you see here?
I see a huge blowout from the Nets. I don't see the Celtics hanging in there. I see all the Nets players clicking on all cylinders. I could see a similar play highlight for SportsCenter in the morning. Remember when Blake spun and passed, and Mike James threw it for the play of the year?
So sexy.
Yeah.
I could see a SportsCenter similar 30-point blowout. The Nets look dominant and win against Celtics. Milwaukee's in trouble.
Do you think Blake will improve on his scoreless effort in game 1?
Yes, of course.
Just a question, but Matthew Gabriel, hola, old sports.
Wow,
how you doing, bud?
Are you taking Spanish, Matt? That's impressive, bud.
So I think I know where you're going to go with this, Gino. But what's your kind of prediction for the game, just in terms of how close and who wins?
I mean, I think that the Celtics got the benefit of the game 1 bump and just all the jitters and whatnot. I think the Nets are settled in now. I think it's going to be probably I would assume a blowout. I mean, unless, like we said, unless Tatum goes for 50, I don't know where the points are coming from.
And I think of course the Nets are going to win this series, but I think they drop this one, honestly, and I think the Celtics lock in a little more confidence after playing them close game 1, and I'm going to say a 50-point effort for Tatum in a 3-point win, and Kyrie pulls like a 4 for 20 because his mind is elsewhere. So just that's my prediction.
Are they at?
It's impressive how much you hate them.
Kyrie and Kawhi.
Just the whole tone.
Are they at capacity right now? Are they how many fans are allowed in there right now? Oh, they got 13,000, I think. They got 13,000.
Okay, so a little less than the
than the Knicks, yeah.
So we'll see. That's the first game tonight. Second one, we have the Lakers at the Suns, 10 o'clock on TNT. The Suns won game 1, of course, so they lead 1-0 after a 99-90 victory. Obviously, for the Lakers, you look at it, the last 2 games, they've had these very sluggish starts, struggling to get points on the board. So I think the key here, get that pick and roll going with AD and LeBron, and just taking high percentage shots and only shoot open threes. We don't need KCP forcing them in the corner or Kuzma airballing them, if they're not there. And, on the Suns side, obviously they liked what they saw out of Booker and Ayton, in their first playoff games. But I think their hope is, that CP3 is okay after that collision and is at full strength, and that they'll be able to get, some more, from him after only having, I think, 8 points the first game. Gino, what's your thoughts on game 2 here?
Yeah, you got to get more from because you're not. I don't think you're going to get 34 from Booker again. So you got to get the. You got to hope Paul is okay and can lead that offense. It looks like, according to NBA.com, it says he will absolutely be ready for game 2. So obviously he'll play, but it's a matter of if he's 100%. In terms of the Lakers, just looking back at game 1 to see. I mean, I know Bron only had 18. I mean, the two guys have to be better. The LeBron and Davis have to be better. So
they have to double their outputs, literally.
Literally double their outputs because that you're probably even though Booker's not going to get 34, you're probably still going to get a decent amount out of him, probably a good amount out of Ayton. And then, if Paul is healthy, then you're going to get, him facilitating and getting some points there. So the scoring will still be there for the Suns, and you assume that, maybe even some of the role players pick it up. So, you'd like to see that. Caruso has probably a big job in terms of playing defense on whoever he's got. AD's got to step it up defensively, and they just got to, Ayton against LeBron and AD down low, Ayton can't be getting 21 points, I don't think. So, you got to stop him down low and kind of give them less options. But I think it'll be a close one again. I don't think this series is, a blowout in one direction or the other, and I don't think we'll see any blowouts. But I don't know. I'm going to go with, and this will make Barnes happy, I'm going to go with the Lakers tonight. I'm going to go against point guard tonight, my favorite player, but I think I'm going to go with the Lakers tonight.
All right. And what do you see here, Mike?
Yeah, no, I see a big game from the Lakers as well. Sadly, hopefully I'm wrong.
Has Bron gone 0-0 dark 30 playoffs yet? Is he off social media?
No, so maybe he might lose.
Not yet.
I don't know.
Not yet. Then he's not allowed to score any points until he just completely goes off social media when he's down 3-1 to the Suns.
Yes, exactly.
So you're saying Lakers victory, Mike? Or?
I will say it.
Okay.
I don't want to. So I'm going off the screen.
Wow.
Now.
This is shocking. Next thing I think you guys are gonna say Giannis is gonna win the title before we know it. But, obviously, I'm going to go Lakers here. You just look at historically, LeBron, I don't know the numbers exactly, but when his team drops game 1, most of the time they're winning game 2. He hasn't been in too many 2-0 holes, other than maybe, the war against the Warriors in the finals. So I expect them to have a big game and him to be super focused and just to get back into this series, before they head back to Los Angeles. So I don't think it'll be a blowout by any means, but I think, they'll win by 7 to 10 points. And him and AD, should combine for about 50. So looking forward to watching this one. And then the last game tonight, tipping at 10:30 Eastern Time, NBA TV, Mavericks versus the Clippers. And Mavs coming up the upset victory in game 1. And you look at this for the Clippers, Uncle Dennis and co. have lost 4 straight playoff games. So, obviously dating back to last season. And, they just need to be more efficient, on 3-point field goals. They were only 11 out of 40 in game 1. So that's not going to get it done. And specifically Kawhi and PG, they were 3 of 14 from 3. That's not going to work either. And I think, Rondo, after a solid game in game 1, only 21 minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if he's around 30. And they kind of lean on him and go a little less away from, Beverly. And I think the biggest question, and, I'll start with you, Gino, here, is Luka going to put on the show again after going 31 points with a triple-double and 5 3-pointers in game 1?
He's averaging, I think, 30-plus points a game against the Clippers in the last 2 playoffs now. I would assume he goes off again. I think you're going to get a similar production basically every game from him this series. It's just a matter of what the other guys do. I'm hoping you get more out of Kristaps Porzingis because, up until he got a bunch of garbage time points, but he had 8 points through 3.5 quarters. Not garbage time points, but he got a bunch of late baskets, but he had 8 points through 3.5 quarters in game 1. Dorian Finney-Smith was phenomenal in game 1. I don't know if you get as much production. It's as you say every year with the Mavs, and as I've said all year, it comes down to the guys that aren't Luka in the end, and it's going to matter what Jalen Brunson does, what Josh Richardson does, what KP does, what Finney-Smith does. So I think that they will from a Clippers production perspective, I think 23 and 26 from Kawhi is you probably maybe get a little bit more from them, but I think that's about around the area you're going to get from maybe a little bit more, maybe like 30 from each of them, which still is good in my opinion. It's just about stopping the other guys. So they did a good job on everybody that wasn't named Paul George and Kawhi Leonard in game one. So if they can do that again, that's going to be a huge step in the right direction. Obviously, the Clippers want to hit more threes. Mavericks were, lethal from three for the most part, almost 50% from three in game one. It's going to, Luka's got to get to the line. He's got to get inside and kind of penetrate so he can open up those 3-point shots for the Mavs. And when they hit their threes, they win. So, I honestly, I don't think, I don't know. I don't know what to say in terms of my opinion. You got Mike. You go first and give your opinions, and I'll give you guys a prediction.
How many are the Clippers winning by, Mike?
I'd say like 15, 18. Kawhi's gonna go off. Paul George. I'm professing right now is gonna have a big game. Big.
Okay. All right. And I'll let you go last, So I am going to say the Clippers dropped their 5th straight playoff game. And Kawhi is going to be Kawhi. He'll have his 25 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. But Paul George is going to go 4 for 21 from the floor. And we will see playoff Rondo, but it won't be enough because Luka is going to have a 40-point triple-double this time. Mavericks by 10.
There is one thing. There is one thing that I can get that. Not guarantee you, but I think is on the better side of happening, and it's that Luka will have another big game. He just always seems to show up in these games. The one thing that they could do, which is we've seen, and I'm just going to keep beating this drum because I feel like it's the one thing that works against guys who play against teams who have mainly one main player and then have a bunch of role players around him. They're going to have to double him as soon as he crosses half court. It's worked against Luka before. He turns the ball over a lot. It's if you double Luka and get the ball out of Luka's hand, if Luka scores 25 points, the Clippers win this game. If Luka can't score more than 25 points, I think the Clippers win this game. So it's on the shoulders of Luka, and I mean he's had success against the Clippers in the past, but I'm not going to be too cocky. I'm going to say the Clippers win by 3 on a last second. Like a 2 that's made with 5 seconds to go, and the Mavs missed the game time shot.
All right.
That's my guess.
Looking forward to this one. Like I said, 10:30 on NBA TV. So we'll recap all of these games tomorrow. Hopefully we have some more.
Oh, can we talk about the fact that this game is at 10:30? We did not talk about that.
The best part is it's really tipping at 10:41 because they always start 11 minutes late.
Yeah.
It's completely insane.
Yeah.
It's just because, so it's 10:30 there, so it's 7:30 local. There's no reason the game can't start at 6. They'll still get plenty of people there. It's limited capacity anyway. Big market in Los Angeles. They're not going to have a problem getting people to go to the game.
No.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I know.
Well, here's the other thing. It's just like we see it all the time in the playoffs, in other sports. Baseball specifically, they tend to move start times into the afternoon for these playoff games because they have a bunch of them going on. So I know that maybe you wouldn't move this game into the afternoon, but you could move this game up so that you can move another game up, maybe play the Celtics and Nets at 6 and then start the other game at 8:30 and then this one at 9:30. It just
9:30 is fine, 6:30 local time. There's just no reason for
You're
it.
pushing 11 o'clock.
And it surprises me because usually Adam Silver is very good with this type of stuff. So I don't know if it's something with the media partners where their hands are tied. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I mean, I can promise you there's a 4% chance I'm up for the end of this game. So.
Yeah. I might not even be there for tip, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's ridiculous.
But so, like I said, we'll see what happens, and we're going to switch gears here and move on to the world of Major League Baseball.
Giving chase at Judge, and he dives into the stand.
DeGrom begins the season with an overpowering strikeout of Ronald Acuna.
The wall, it's gone! 3-run home run! What's going on here? I love it. He drives one to the moon. High, deep, and very gone.
So we're gonna switch things up here, and it's funny, ironic. Tony, after another Mets loss, takes a day off here, but we will actually start with the Mets because the Yankees were off last night, and the Mets fall again, 3-2 the Rockies. David Peterson, a guy we've talked about a lot, had an okay outing. I mean, technically it's a quality start. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 3 walks, 3 Ks. But the offense, dead again, 4 for 30 at the plate, 10 strikeouts. Lindor goes 0 for 4. He's batting 189. And I mean, you can't necessarily blame them because the whole team's injured. I mean, they're playing Cameron Maybin and Braden Drury, former Yankees, actually. I mean, they got guys making the Major League debut every night. So hard to expect much. But the whole thing, and I said this yesterday, it's just like, if Lindor was just even close to what he normally does, they would win some of these games.
Yeah, I mean, 0 for 4. If he had a couple hits, it would help. It would help. I mean, he just can't get going, man. He is not having fun out there. And the other thing is, they have 2 more guys that just went on the injured list again today. John. I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to try. Jonishwe Fargas, a center fielder for them, just went on the injured list, and then Yamamoto just went on the injured list. So 2 more guys. Yeah, 2 more guys, and it's funny, in another group chat that I have, guys are saying, Tebow probably would have been on this team if he stayed in the Mets organization at this point because they have so many damn injuries.
Right.
So
crazy.
it's crazy, and it's a problem when you're losing to the Rockies. I mean, especially they only gave up 5 hits to the Mets pitching. It wasn't like it was a terribly offense, like a great offensive game for the Rockies. So it's a problem. It's not good. It's not good for the Mets right now.
Somehow they're still in first place. So I mean, at least there's that.
That division is so weird, man.
Oh, it's so weird.
They're the only team
one of the
above.
most competitive in the whole league. I thought any of the teams could win the division.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm happy because my prediction that the Marlins wouldn't finish in last is still holding up, so that's pretty fun. But other than that, this it's just such a weird division. Like nobody seems to win, but they're all good. It's like it's like they all have the talent there, but none of the talent is producing, which I guess is good if you're a Mets fan. It's great, but
things may change. But it looks like the winner's going to have 83 wins.
Yeah, I mean, eventually things will change for one of these teams, and if you're a Mets fan, you hope it's the Mets, but it could be the Phillies before the Mets get all their guys back, or the Braves or whatever. So
and speaking of getting their guys back, so just some injury updates, some good and bad. So Pete Alonso expected back next week. Jeff McNeil out till late June, so obviously that's another month, so that's kind of a blow. Same thing with Conforto, he's out another month. Syndergaard kind of staying within the timeline that was expected before the season. He's looking at a middle of next month return to the rotation. Lugo is expected back within a week, so that's obviously a good thing. He's been a solid reliever and even a starter when they need him. And then Carlos Carrasco is expected back late June, early July, and this is a guy who was expected to be back 2 weeks ago. So obviously, he just has recovered slower from his injury. Nimmo, they're not giving a timetable to. They just said he's close to swinging a bat again. So I'd imagine that's at least 2 to 3 weeks. And then Dellin Betances, who only made 1 appearance opening week. He threw his first bullpen since being shut down. So I would imagine he's probably at least 6 weeks out, a month at best, but more likely on the latter. So you're going to have some of your guys back, but they're still going to be operating at less than full strength for quite a while now. But the good news is tonight, 7:10 SNY, Jacob deGrom comes off the IL to face Kyle Freeland. So obviously, in a time where the Mets just can't buy runs, having deGrom start is a good thing. The only thing I would caution is the fact that coming off an injury, you can't expect him to pitch a complete game. I want to say they'll probably have him go 75, 80 pitches. So you'd imagine at best he's only going 6 innings. So it's going to be up to the bullpen, to shut the Rockies down for the final third of this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's not your worry, though, right? I mean, you assume that DeGrom's going to probably go 6 innings, and the bullpen will probably – I mean, the bullpen was good last night. It's a matter of getting the bat to the ball. And Kyle Freeland hasn't had that great of a season this season and hasn't been that good – wasn't that good last season.
Quite a while.
Well, this is a guy that 2 years ago finished 4th in the Cy Young standings. He was 17-7, 2.85 ERA. So, I mean, he's not – I guess he could find
4 years ago?
2 years ago.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was about to say.
I don't know why I thought it was longer than that, but I just remembered him having was it last year or the year before he had a 7?
Yeah, last year he had a 6.73 ERA. So not a great year for him last year. Went 3-11, but in that 2018 season he went 17-7 with the 2.85 ERA. So, I mean, he's had success in some years, but are they home or are they away?
So no, it's in Citi Field.
It's at Citi Field, so they don't get the benefit of the old Coors Field effect or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's up to the bats. But who's going to do it? I mean, the only healthy person on that roster right now is basically it's like Dominic Smith and Francisco Lindor are the only 2 healthy starters on that roster. So
yeah, and they had James McCann starting at first base last night.
Yeah, I mean, they're literally piecing it. I saw Steve Cohen yesterday tweet out, anybody want to suit up? Literally, that's what
I saw that.
He's like they literally have nobody.
And this just kind of came to mind with, Freeland, because I was looking at it. So it was 2018. He had a 2.85 ERA. Oh, so this is actually his first start of the season, from what I'm seeing on Baseball Reference. But I mean, do you think that?
Oh yeah, I must have missed. It must have been 3 years ago then. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, 3 years ago. But do you think with the Coors Field effect that a guy like Jacob deGrom or Garrett Cole, because we saw what happened to Mike Hampton, many years ago. I mean, is it possible to have long-term success? Do you feel as a Rocky starter?
They did some stuff on this. Talking Baseball actually did a really good thing on the Colorado Rockies and kind of the Coors effect. And then there was a guy whose name they mentioned, who I can't remember, but he did a whole article on this. It's interesting. So the balls at Coors Field, they don't spin as much either. So you don't get as much movement on your pitches. You want guys that can throw really hard or guys that really spin it so that when the spin effect comes on, it isn't as detrimental. But yeah, it's hard. There's a certain type of pitcher that could work there, an Adam Ottavino type, because as we saw in Adam Ottavino when he came to the Bronx, a little more wild, but maybe at Coors Field, his pitches work a little bit better because they don't spin as much or move as much. So there's a certain amount of pitcher a certain type of pitcher that could fit there, but it's not easy. I mean, you got the biggest outfield in baseball. You have a ballpark that the balls fly out of. So, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's a place you want to go. It's not going to help your
I
think it's impressive that he went. Yeah, it was impressive that he had 2.85 in a season there. So
right. Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, we saw Jeff Francis back in the day. Pitched pretty well there. So just kind of interesting to see, what'll happen moving forward if they ever get, any type of free agent pitchers to come there, and if anybody can have, that long-term success that obviously they need to be a contending team. And then, before we get to the Yankees here, the Rays won their 11th straight in Dunedin last night, 14-8 in 11 innings after blowing a first-inning 5-0 lead. They're going to go for 12 in a row tonight versus the Royals. Rich Hill is getting the start. 1 earned run his last 3 starts, which encompasses 18 innings. I mean, I'm shocked because the Rays were going through some struggles. I think they lost 2 out of 3, I think, to the Yankees when they played last time. So do you feel, I mean, I know we've seen them contend year after year for a while, but do you feel this is sustainable for the Rays, the rest of this season? Yeah,
I mean, Rich Hill is the new Charlie Morton for them, right? A guy who came in on the back end of his career who's having a lot of success right now. And when the Yankees faced Rich Hill, I don't think he was doing that well. So, the Rays do this every year, and they just traded, I think, or designated for assignment Willie Adames. So I think they have Wander Franco coming up sometime soon, which is the number 1 prospect in baseball. So there's a lot of things are looking up for the race. And we said this yesterday. This division is one of the best divisions in baseball right now in terms of the teams at the top and how well they're playing. So it's going to be an interesting next couple months to kind of sort this out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned, we're going to talk Yankees now. They begin 3-game series against the struggling Toronto Blue Jays. I believe it's 6 or 7 in a row they've lost now.
Yep.
And the Yankees are coming off the off day yesterday. So tonight, 7:05 on yes. Steven Matz versus Corey Kluber. Kluber coming off the no-hitter. Matz has been getting lit up on the mound after a strong start. So the Yankees are going to go for their 7th straight win. And they have won Kluber's last 5 starts. Kluber is going to look to become the 6th Yankees starter with a scoreless start in a row. And also just some good news. It looks like Stanton's going to be back. They haven't officially announced it, but he's expected to come off the IL today and be in the lineup. So that obviously is good news. And also, Glaber has been on fire recently, hitting 349 since that controversial ground out where he tapped it back to the pitcher, didn't hustle, and that was back on April 21st and hitting 349. So he's really picked it up. Even Gardner, who's 5 foot Yankees really, offense, defense, pitching, they're pushing on all cylinders. Obviously, Stanton is expected to be a big boost as well. So, I look at this, and I think 2 out of 3 is expected, but they're really eyeing the sweep against the struggling team.
Yeah, I think that I think with the Blue Jays, it's like they've given up 6 or more runs in their last. Actually, 6 or more runs in 7 of their last 8. So that's not good. So the Yankees hopefully take advantage of that. The Blue Jays also have a tough stretch coming up here. They have the Yankees, then they have the Indians and the Marlins, which may be some easier games, and then they have the Astros, the White Sox, the Red Sox, and the Yankees again. So they got to really figure something out here. They could be slowly working themselves out of this race here in the AL East, especially if these other teams keep battling and keep winning games. So with Kluber, you hope he comes out and gets another good start. Stanton will be back, like you said. So it's the Yankees got to come out and got to put some runs on the board against the struggling pitching staff, and hopefully that'll get some bats really hot going into this continued tough stretch here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I expect, with Matt struggling, Yankees hitting left-handed pitching well, I would expect them to score 7 or 8 tonight. So looking forward to watching that, 7:05 on yes. And then also just some sports news. Kenny Mayne, had his last Sports Center last night, and he closed it out having Aaron Rodgers on. And, on there, Rodgers said, no problem with his coach, with Jordan Love. It's just he really just called out the GM and really doesn't like him. So that was just kind of interesting, and he's just basically saying he's not going to play in Green Bay. So I was just curious, kind of what your guys' thoughts were on where what you expect to happen.
Yeah, doesn't sound like he's playing in Green Bay anymore. It's crazy because. There was a stat that came out a couple like around the draft. The last 3 Packers quarterbacks have all been there for 16 years, and this is Aaron Rodgers' 16th year. So just like a weird little thing that popped up where he's probably not going to play another season for the Packers and kind of continue that weird trend. But it doesn't look good. I don't know where he's going, but he's not playing in Green Bay. It doesn't sound like it. It doesn't sound like the relationship is mendable. And it doesn't sound like they can come to an agreement here. So it looks like Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. Which, if you're an NFC fan, hopefully he goes somewhere else outside the NFC.
Yeah, no, it doesn't seem fixable. I know you're in agreement with that, Mike, right? I mean, it's just.
Yeah, no, he's out.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have the kid, I'd want him.
Right.
Right.
We're set with
our guy.
Can't wait to get into some.
You know who I want though is Julio.
Julio would be nice.
Julio would be nice on the Titans.
He's gonna come
can you relax?
He's going to come at a discount because he's a little older now and has a high salary, so I think he can be had for a middle round pick.
Although the Falcons have been asking for a first rounder. The Falcons and
I would be shocked if they get that.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see what happens. And Mike has a little surprise for us, so I'll go to him.
I do. So I just felt like, this is the first time we've ever done this trio solo dolo. So why not try something new? And I have a hot or not segment for you guys.
Ooh, I like
Barnesy boy. Bang, bang. I'll come up here. The first one is Aaron Carter getting dropped in his sparring session. I just want you guys to see him get dropped. Here, look at that. He looks like a mouse in there.
I'm pretty confident I could beat Aaron Carter in a fight after watching this.
Yes. No, watch
I'm
this.
Very
watch.
confident.
No, just watch. Oh God.
Who was he fighting?
Just some dude. He's sparring some dude.
No, but who's he
fighting Lamar Odom?
Oh yeah, he's gonna get that.
Watch, look, and he goes down.
Obviously not. He's gonna just cancel the fight right now.
Yeah.
So if are we answering hot or not, as in like it's important?
Are you hot for this? Yeah. Are you hot for him in this fight or not?
Absolutely
not. No way.
Okay. I thought so.
No
I mean, hopefully
way.
the tickets. By the way, I've been waiting on the tickets to see the price, and they're not announced yet. So I'm waiting. I'm patiently waiting.
Are for that? Well, let's take guesses. Let's see what do you think the tickets are?
I hope it's like $50.
I'm gonna say it's at least 100.
You think?
Yep.
Dude, that's so much to go see Aaron Carter get beat up by Lamar Odom in probably one round.
Big names.
AC's been struggling, I'm sure, with COVID and everything. So I think
that's
as much as they can.
All right, I have one more. It has audio in it.
All right.
Dope.
It really pays off. I know what he did to the country of Japan. I know what he did to Japan. So guess what? You have to pay for what you did to Japan.
Is this you trying to rally an entire country around you?
So,
bro, I know what you did to your wife.
One thing about
Floyd's 50-0. Nah, he's 51-1. He beat his wife too.
He's entitled to feel how he want to feel, say what he want to say.
Let's go there.
My thing is this.
So I once again am going to go not because I'm sick. Honestly, I'm sick of Floyd. I'm sick of the fight he had with McGregor. It's just he's just stealing money because this stuff isn't real. It's scripted. It's not a boxing match. Give me a heavyweight bout. Give me a championship bout.
Joshua.
I'm tired
Deontay.
of this type of fantasy
Tyson.
stuff. Please, get
We're not getting Joshua. Josco's got to fight some Urzik dude before he gets to fight anybody else with this stupid contract shit.
Don't worry. Tyson and Joshua will happen. But what do you think, Gino? Hot or not on this fight?
On this fight? I don't know. I think I'm a little hotter on this fight than the last one. Maybe I'm
the
like
last
lukewarm.
one is bootleg. The last one was bootleg.
I'm like lukewarm on this one.
I've actually
part of me, I just want to see. I want to see whichever Paul brother that is get dropped.
Get knocked out. Yeah.
I just want to see him get dropped in the first round. But the other part of me is like, do I really want to because then you become part of this and then you get interested in it and then you're like one of them, right? You're like,
yes, no, I don't pay for it. I watch the highlight the next day.
But I said, get it off the air.
Yeah,
get ESPN to have like a Joshua Fury fight for free.
Yeah,
you get 30 million people watching. It's just enough with this.
ESPN before Lomachenko went down, ESPN you could watch Lomachenko for free. It was great, and then he went down. He's like a lightweight boxer, and then he lost and they don't show him anymore.
Yeah.
He was so much
fun. But yeah, I've been doing actually some research on Aaron, watching the social media and stuff, and comments from people. And apparently he's either a lot of people say he's crazy,
right?
Like actually lost it. So I really don't know. I'm not a professional, so I don't know. But
what's the beef here? Like, why is Aaron Carter fighting Lamar Odom? Like,
this is just for money. I think this is a money thing. But he has he's got some issues going on apparently with Nick Carter, the former Backstreet Boy member. If you guys know this.
Yes.
And apparently his mom and him are writing a book about everything and gonna have a new show and
Oh my God! Can we just put on Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Look at Barnes.
He hates this so much.
But
Yeah.
when's Kawhi's reality show with Uncle Dennis coming out? Please.
Oh, that's great.
I think that's all we got.
I think that was good. That was a good ending, right?
Great
Yeah,
ending,
I like
great
that.
Show.
I think I might do that more.
Any final words, fellas?
That's it for me.
That's it for me.
You know,
Surprising, I know.
so excited to get this series started in the Bronx. So
Because Tony's not here.
Hopefully, Mats will get hammered tonight. And
Hopefully.
looking forward to watching it. Looking forward to watching the basketball. But as always, thanks everyone for joining us, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Peace.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.